Hey guys, so right now the G80 M3, it's a little bit dirty, but I think it's a good thing because I'm right at around 1200 miles, which means tomorrow I'm gonna be actually taking it in for the break-in service. So just wanted to kind of make two quick videos here. The first one is gonna be the 5 things I dislike about the video about this car. The next video will be the 5 things that I love about this car. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about, which I think everybody can agree on this, is just the exhaust sound. What's really weird is this is an M3, right? It should be somewhat loud. I still remember if I compare it to my M2 and M3 and M5, the M5 stock was actually louder in terms of decibels and the burbles and everything than my M2 with the res delete or mid pipe or whatever you call it, right? By taking out the middle section. This stock is like really quiet. Obviously, after 1,000 miles or so, I can start to hear a little bit more burbles, like when I'm stopped and stuff. But while I'm driving, it's still very quiet. Obviously, it is a 6-cylinder, but then you got to compare, like what I'm trying to compare it to is like, for example, even like my stock M240i, right? The B58s or the N55s. Those are also 3-liter 6-cylinders, and those sounded like so good stock. This being an M car, it really doesn't have that much volume. And the other kind of second part to that is the valve controller situation, right? So BMW actually does not open the valves fully when you actually put in Sport Plus mode. It only opens up when you're full throttle and above 4,500 RPM. So stay tuned for the next mod because I do have something on the way to kind of fix that problem. I think that'll be definitely a good win. It'll basically, make sure the car is, how it's supposed to sound. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is just like the interior quality. So when I mean by interior quality, fit and finish, all that stuff is really good. What I'm specifically talking about is just like the choice of materials, right? So obviously in my M2, that was $65,000 MSRP. Perfect. For that price point, definitely agree. My M5, it had a sticker of 130. Obviously, that's a really, really nice, luxurious car. But just like, the door cards, right? Like the upper door card was like so my M5 was a base M5. It didn't even have the extended leather interior or anything, right? Just the fact that it has the extended merino leather on the seats was so good. The upper door card was like all stitched. It wasn't the deviated stitching, it was just the regular stitching one, but it was good. And then the other thing is the bottom of the door cards. Obviously everything in here is like a soft touch plastic, but the fact that like you have to pay extra to get the stitching is kind of a waste, right? Like this is almost no, this car was 93,000. Even if you get like a $95,000 card, like you have to pay another $2,000 to get the extended leather, which honestly sucks, right? The M5s, even the base, just come like that. And I feel like, for the price point that you're paying for this car, you definitely need that. The other thing about the interior quality, what I would say is the fact that it doesn't come standard with like heated cooled seats or whatever, right? Like you get heated seats in the premium package, but I didn't get cooled seats because the owner of this car or whoever spec'd this out, the dealership, they didn't spec that. And then obviously it doesn't have massage seats, which, every car in this segment has this, right? Like the Cadillacs, the Mercedes, the Audis. So it's just kind of unfortunate. The next thing, which I absolutely hate about this, and I think this is specifically to the 2025s when you have the iDrive 9s, is the BMW AI suggestion thing or whatever you call it. That thing is absolutely horrible. It'll start so usually I drive 8.5. If you see my BMW, it'll be like, hey, whatever, it'll start the trigger word, right? And obviously you can control that wake word. So I have like a special thing for my wake word as well. But this is like, you'll be talking about like something. You'll be like, hey, I'm thinking about going to the hair barber. And then it'll start like saying this on the screen. It'll have a little blurb and then it'll start like, like finding you directions to the closest barber. I'm like, dude, you don't need to it's a car. Like, And this is an M car too. It's not like an electric car, like a daily driver car. It is my daily, but I don't want it to do that. It's an M car. The next fourth thing that I wanted to talk about is the gas mileage. Obviously, this is still before the break-in period, but just based on the data that I've seen on the government website and what people are getting, this thing actually probably gets the same, or if anything, worse mileage than my M5. The M5 was like a 3-year-old twin turbo V8 making 600 horsepower. So obviously, like the M5 had a bigger tank, so it made it feel like, you know, I can get more miles per tank. But even if I just compare the miles per gallon, like especially like when you're driving city or highway, the M5 actually got like way better mileage. And the thing that I always like, that I try to benchmark, is like miles per gallon per horsepower, right? So obviously you can have a car that gets really good miles per gallon and, you know, it'll have less horsepower. The M5 actually makes more horsepower. This is 523 and I believe that one is 600. And it actually weighs more too. And I still don't understand why it gets this terrible gas mileage. I'm pretty sure maybe obviously like my M5, it had like lighter wheels, you know, had the forged rims, it had like a resonator delete. Hopefully once I do kind of those things, I'll start seeing some slight miles per gallon increases as well. Obviously, this is a car that you don't buy for miles per gallon, but I'm just comparing it to like an M5. And yeah, I think the other thing is like I drive at like pretty high speeds on the highway. That's probably why I drive a little more than what traffic is driving. So I think that's definitely one part of it. And the last thing I just wanted to talk about is this wheel gap. This is absolutely horrendous. It's almost a fist gap. And then the worst part about it is just like how much the front is just tucked in. The back, honestly, the gap is not bad, but it's, it's not that like flush, I would say. So that definitely ruins that experience. But let me know what you guys think, and what you guys would, think about the dislikes that you guys had from owning this G80, and what you guys did to kind of fix it. I think pretty much all the problems I stated here, they can all be fixed, which is a good thing. It's just that paying this kind of price, I would expect to have all this right away, right then and there, right? So that's it.